talking about the Impact Challenge book. I'm going to go through a question. We're kind of taking off where we left off last time, but the question was this. Finish this statement. I've been acting like a pansy lately because. And so this might be a little harsh words, but there are multiple areas of our life where we need to stop acting like a pansy, right? And that is, as my brother used to call me when I was young, a sissy lala. There are many areas of our life that we need to stop being that. And so I go into detail of what those kind of are, but we're gonna take off where we left off, and that is complaining there's no money in the bank when you either spend or allow the money to be spent. You see, a lot of times we spend our time complaining about things that we have control over or that we are personally responsible for. A lot of the areas of frustration and dissatisfaction we have either created or allowed them to take place. And so that being said, we can sit around and complain about those things, or we can be proactive and begin to change those things positively for the better. The next one is this: you are praying to God to save you and your life, yet refusing to do the work necessary. Now, maybe you're not very godly or religious or spiritual. This can take place in many different scenarios, but you're always needing to be rescued. And we are constantly reaching out to other people to come rescue us when we are refusing to do the work necessary to be successful. Now, this is an honest truth and a harsh reality that we create pretty much most of our existence. And we do this by our thoughts, our beliefs, that turn into actions, that turn into behaviors that get us certain consequences and certain results that begin to take place in our life. And so, if you are spiritual, you can begin to pray, God, save me. God, help my finances. God, help my health. God, help all these areas, right? Not understanding that it's your responsibility to do those things. And there's no parent in the world that is going to honestly step in and help their child do what they know that the child should do for themselves. There's a lot of parents that do that, I'm not going to lie. But if you're focusing on health, you're focusing on building development, you're focused on building a great child, right? You are not going to do for them what they can and should do for themselves. And so sometimes, not all the time, we treat religion and spirituality as a crutch. And we're dependent on this man in the sky to fix our finances. The man in the sky to fix our marriages. Whatever it is. And we're looking outside and we're desiring to be rescued. Not understanding that it's our responsibility to create the life that we want. Powerful reality. Ooh, this is a good one. Watching your life fall apart while blaming your parents, your past, and your trauma. You see, we can point to our trauma, that is, if we've been raised in a chaotic, abusive environment. And we can point to that environment and we can say, this is the reason why I am the way that I am. And therefore we come up with all these reasons, all these justifications, and all these excuses. Ask me how I know. I know. Coming from that abusive environment, that traumatic environment where I was abused and taken away from my parents, and all of those things surrounding the way that I was growing up, I I could live the rest of my life on medication if I so choose. Oh yeah. My parents were both schizophrenic, diagnosed, mental illnesses, drug addicts. I was pretty much the same way. I had many schizophrenic episodes when I was younger, and had addiction to drugs and post-traumatic stress and all those things, right? And so I can look to my past if I so choose and use it as a crutch and as an excuse to go ahead and opt out of life and say, you know what? Forget this. I didn't have the right parents. I didn't have the right education. I didn't have this, that, and the other thing. And most people would look at that and see the traumatic experience and say, you know what? Yeah, you very well could just opt out of life and hold on to that excuse. And you might be the same too. Anybody who's listening to me, I've talked with multiple people that have been raped, molested, abused. And you have a valid excuse. I'm going to just tell you straight up. You have an excuse to hate the world. You can go ahead and hate men, hate women. You can hate the world the rest of your life. You have a valid excuse. But that valid excuse is going to keep you in the mode of victimization and blaming everybody else. And it's going to keep you stuck in your trauma and in your problems. So you can go ahead and live your dysfunctional life full of chaos and pain, holding on to this valid excuse card. Or you can begin to take responsibility and say, you know what, I'm not going to use my past, my trauma, my education, my upbringing, my parents, everything. I'm not going to use it as an excuse and as a crutch anymore. You see, there's power in coming out of victimization and understanding that you are a victor, not a victim. And it's a shift in mindset. It's a shift in identity that says, you know what? I am an overcomer and I am a victor. And now all of a sudden, you begin to live up to your newfound identity. Yes, I came from a traumatic background. Yes, I was just white trash. That doesn't mean that I have to stay that way. Powerful thoughts. I'll give you one more. I don't even know what it is. We'll find out. Asking what's wrong with your kids when you haven't parented in years. Oh, that's a good pansyism that we need to let go of. A total shift in topic, so I'm going to drop that one. But what you could take home from today is this. You can take responsibility for your life. And you could come out of the trauma that you experienced not even smelling like or acting like that you've been through it. You can begin to take the steps towards healing and begin to live the life that you want to live. And that could be yours today. Go grab my book, dotheimpactchallenge.com. This is free. I ain't trying to sell you nothing. This is a free book. dotheimpactchallenge.com. Peace.